I'm sure this is an argument that you heard a lot, that we all heard a lot in the Trump years, this idea that sort of a vulgar vessel was necessary to achieve holy aims. And in the wake of this decision, a lot of those people are taking a victory lap saying, see, we were right. He gave us what we wanted. Are they in fact vindicated?
Well, here's the argument that they would use. The argument that they would use is that there had to be a disruptive figure who would be willing to do whatever it took to appoint the sorts of people who would hand down the Dobbs case. I don't buy that argument for a number of reasons. I mean, one of them, the author of the Dobbs case is a George W. Bush appointee. I don't think that you would have had largely any different decision from a Jeb Bush court or Marco Rubio court, a Ted Cruz court, than you would have with a Donald Trump court, especially given the way that attention is so carefully paid now on both the right and the left to court appointments. So I don't think that Donald Trump uniquely was going to make judicial appointments that someone else wouldn't have made. I also think that one has to look not only at the final result in this case, but what is the cost of hitching the pro-life movement to a figure such as this? Now, again, I think people can make arguments in various ways, but that is deeply concerning to me. I don't think you can have long-term a pro-life ethic without a concern for vulnerability, a concern for women, character. I mean, I think all of those things matter. The question is going to be, when it comes to the pro-life movement, as with every other social reform movement, there are two parts of it that are both necessary. There's a legal aspect of it, and there also is a cultural persuasion aspect of it. And you can win the one while losing the other. That's what I think is going to be important right now, is making sure that you don't end up with a short-term court win or political win and a long-term loss in terms of persuasion. That was what I worried about and prayed that I was wrong about, but I don't think I was, which is when people would say to me, we're voting for Trump as a lesser of two evils, and this is a transactional sort of arrangement. As one friend said, I'm not voting for one person, I'm voting for 1,000 people in an administration. I think that's a reasonable argument. I do. It's not the calculation I make, but I think it's a reasonable argument. The thing I worried about was that we're in an America where not only do I morally think lesser of two evils is not workable, it's that I don't think it's possible in this sort of environment. And so if there had been people who were actually going to say, we're with you on some of your court picks, and we think that the way that you're speaking after Charlottesville is reprehensible, or many other things all the way through. We like Amy Coney Barrett, and we think January 6th is horrific. That would be one thing. We're living in an American context where that is very, very difficult. People find their tribal leaders and tend to become shaped by them.